皆さんおはようございます。Thank you for joining me for the Japanese Easy News Article of the Day, where we break down Japanese news articles in a simple manner for your Japanese study. So for our article today, we have 今年流行した言葉、高市総理大臣の働いて女性首相。So 今年 is this year. So 今年流行した言葉. So all of this is describing what kind of 言葉 or words we have here. So what kind of words? 今年 this year 流行した. So 流行する is to become popular. And this is 流行する in the form or the past tense. So words that have become popular this year. Every year in Japan, around the start of December, they do some research and see which words were new words, kind of like memes, but also just words that are commonly used as well throughout the year, that have been commonly used throughout the year to kind of see trends in culture and things like that. So, words that were popular this year. 高市総理大臣の So 高市総理大臣 would be the new prime minister, Prime Minister Takaichi. No, something of hers. And then we have quotes here. So these things are Japanese quotes. And 働いて. So this is the verb 働く, to work in the te form. Because I believe it's a quote from her where she says, I'm going to work and work and work and work. And when you have multiple verbs in a row, you're going to be in the te form. So 働いて. 女性首相. So 女性 would be woman, connected to 首相, which is the prime minister or the head of state. So, of the words that were popular this year, we have, and they're going to give us more than just these two words, but these were very popular words throughout the year. 働いて, work, and woman prime minister, 女性首相. 高市総理大臣 from Prime Minister Takaichi. Okay, here is our vocabulary list from the article. We have 今年, which is this year. 流行する or 流行. So the する would be a verb here to come into fashion or to become popular. 流行 by itself is kind of fashion. And that doesn't necessarily always mean like fashion like clothes, but fashion as in what is popular. Okay? We have 働く is to work. 女性 is woman or female. And 首相 is kind of like head of state, but in Japan that normally refers to the prime minister and other countries as well. Normally won't use this word for things like presidents, which you'll use 大統領. Then we have 新語, which is a new word. 大賞, which is an award, literally big award. Then we have 発表 is an announcement or a presentation. This also has a する verb, 発表する to announce or present something. 関税 is tariff. 古い is old. 米 is rice. 万博 is the World Expo, and 選ぶ is to choose or to select.
今年を代表する言葉、新語・流行語大賞の発表がありました。1番になったのは、女性で初めて総理大臣となった高市早苗さんの働いて働いて働いて働いて働いてまいります。女性首相です。他にはアメリカが関税を高くしたトランプ関税や国が安く売った古い米コココ米、大阪・関西万博のキャラクターミャクミャクなどが選ばれました。
Okay, let's jump right into our article here.
今年を代表する言葉、新語・流行語大賞の発表がありました。
Okay, so 今年を代表する言葉. So we have 言葉 here, which is being described as 今年を代表する言葉. So 言葉 is words, and 今年 this year, 代表する, I probably should have included this in the vocab. 代表する is to represent. So for words that represent the year or give us a good idea of the year, 言葉、今年を代表する言葉、新語、流行語大賞. So 新語 is a new word, 流行語. So this is made up of 流行, which is fashionable or popular, and then 語 is words or language, and 大賞 award. So the new and popular word award の発表がありました. So a 発表 is an announcement, and then this no is just connecting us to say what kind of announcement. The announcements for the words that represent the year, the new word and popular word award was or existed. So when you say a presentation or announcement was given, you can just use aru to exist in the past tense here, which is what they do here. So 発表がありました. There was an announcement regarding this information here.
一番になったのは、女性で初めて総理大臣となった高市早苗さんの働いて働いて働いて働いて働いてまいります。女性首相です。
Okay. So 一番になったのは. So we have our wa here. This is our main topic. And then this no connected to the verb naru or ni naru in the past tense. So something becoming first. 一番になる would be to become the first or to be the best. And this is in the past tense. So 一番になったのは. So we can use no to describe something that we've previously mentioned or an example of something that we've previously mentioned. This no is actually talking about words from context here. So the one, you can kind of translate no as one sometimes. So the one that became number one was, and that's what that was doing here. So the one, or the word that became number one was 女性で初めて総理大臣となった高市早苗さんの働いて, and yeah, we'll talk about that later. So 女性で as a woman, this de is in that state. So 女性 being woman in that state. 初めて for the first time. 総理大臣, which is the prime minister. となった. So this is once again naru in the past tense. So she became the prime minister for the first time as a woman, the first woman to become it, right? 高市早苗さんの. So Prime Minister 高市, her name is Sanae Takaichi. さんの. This is owned by her. 働いて働いて働いて働いて働いてまいります. And 女性首相です. So this no wa, the word that became number one, was this, or the language. This quote we have here. And this des is just saying is, right? So this quote, we'll talk about it real quick. So this quote, when Takaichi was becoming the first woman prime minister, she mentioned that she was going to work and work and work and work and work for the Japanese people. Now, the media took that and spun it in a way saying that, oh, she wants the Japanese public to work and work and work and work. when a lot of the Japanese public is saying we're being overworked and underpaid. So this brought a lot of people back to earlier times in Japan where they just say, oh, your problems aren't being solved, just work harder and you'll be fine, right? Kind of pick yourself up by your bootstraps kind of a thing. So the media kind of took that spin and said, oh, she just wants everyone in Japan to go back to an old age where everyone just was worked to death. That's not what she said. She said, I will work. And then this mairimasu. So mairimasu is the honorific verb for kuru. If you have te kuru, means like I'm going to do that and come back. It'll often be used when you're talking about goals or things that you're going to finish it and report back to the person, kind of like with a sense of duty to that person. So here she's saying, for the Japanese people, I will work and work and work and work, and it's like my duty. Hataraite mairimasu. And then the other part of that word, sometimes they combine words and phrases if they have similar ideas into a single phrase or idea. So, 女性首相. So, 女性 woman and 首相 head of state or prime minister. So, the number one among these words or phrases was the work, and woman prime minister from Takaichi Sanae, who became the Japan's first woman prime minister.
他にはアメリカが関税を高くしたトランプ関税や国が安く売った古い米コココ米
Oh, actually, this is technically still one sentence, sorry.
大阪・関西万博のキャラクターミャクミャクなどが選ばれました。
Okay, so we have a 3-sentence article here today. So, 他には should be in addition. So we just gave an example here. 他には can be used to give more information. So, 他には in addition to that, アメリカが関税を高くしたトランプ関税. So, トランプ関税 would be Trump, and 関税 is tariffs. So, Trump tariffs. And then all of this describes our Trump tariffs here. So, トランプ関税, in which アメリカが America 関税を高くした. So, 関税 is tariffs. And then this is the verb or the adjective 高い in the くする form. And when we use the kusuru form, that's like making something into that adjective. So, takai would be high. Takakusuru is to make something high or to increase something. So here we have takakushita. So the Trump tariffs, where America increased the tariffs or made the tariffs higher. Ya. So we're using ya to say these are some examples of some other ones. We're not going to tell you all of them, but we're telling you some of them. 国が安く売った古い米、コココ米. So this word, コココ米, this is a word that was kind of made up. So if you know the kanji, this one means old, and there's 3 of them. So, コココ米. So old rice. So this コ here means old, and in Japan over the last year, there's actually been a major rice shortage, and the government has had to go into their rice reserves. So the government had been saving up rice since rice stores pretty well, like not for very long periods of time, but I believe there are policies to save up rice for emergencies. And there used to be komai, which is like old rice, which is about a year old. Because the best rice is the year that it's kind of harvested, or within a year of it being harvested. Komai would be a year or more. And then people made their own word. Kokomai would be 2 years old. And then kokokomai would be 3 years old rice. So rice that's been stored for 3 or more years, they call kokokomai. And that's kind of popped up due to these rice shortages and the government selling these rice bags to people who needed them because the shortages were really bad. And so this kokokomai is a word. And what is this referring to? Furui kome. So once again, old rice that kuni ga yasuku utta. So kuni, the country or the government in this case, ga yasuku is cheaply, and then uru, to sell in the past tense. So kuni ga yasuku utta furui kome. So the old rice that the government sold very inexpensively, kokokomai. And then a comma here. So we got two examples, and we're going to give one more example here. And myaku. So 大阪・関西万博のキャラクター、ミャクミャクなどが選ばれました。So this nado, like we've seen in the past, often connects with ya. Both mean like I'm giving you examples, but this doesn't include all of them. And then we got 大阪・関西万博. So the Osaka and Kansai World Expo, and then it owns something, which is the character, a character. The character for the Osaka and Kansai World Expo, which is myaku. It's a really weird looking character. Go look it up if you're interested. I think it's just spelled myaku, or if you just type in character Osaka Expo, it should pop up, but myaku. Really weird looking character. And then we got nado ga erabaremashita. So ga, this is our subject here, and then erabu in the passive tense here. So erabu, erabareru. Erabu would be to choose. Erabareru is to be chosen or to be selected. So in addition, if we're to break all of this into a single sentence here, which it is, we would say, in addition, the Trump tariffs, wherein America increased tariffs, kokokomai, referring to old rice that was sold very inexpensively by the government, and myaku, the character for the Osaka Kansai World Expo, were selected. So that's this hokani wa is connecting to our selected. So in addition to this hataraite, we also have these other three examples. And there were some other examples that were pretty interesting. So if you're interested, go ahead and look them up. But that is it for our article today. Thank you so much for joining me. If you like these videos, please like and subscribe and hit that bell so you can be notified when these videos pop up to keep up your Japanese daily study. And I will plan on seeing you tomorrow. 本当にありがとうございました。また明日。